Hi, everybody. This is David Nevins for City Biz, and welcome to our program today. And with us today, we have a very special guest, and he is Stephen Schupak. And Stephen has recently become the president and CEO of Maryland Public Television. Stephen, welcome.
Thank you, David. Glad to be here.
So, Stephen, I think if ever the term be careful what you wish for, you may get it applied, it would be in this case. A fascinating time indeed, I would think, to become the president of Maryland Public Television. Tell us how it's going, if you don't mind.
Well, I was appointed on July 1st, and within the first 30 days, the federal funding, after more than 50 years of support from the federal government, was eliminated. So it was kind of a nuclear bomb, and there's a lot of impact, and I'm sure we could talk about that a little bit more later. But the state of Maryland has our back. We are a state of Maryland state agency, and we are committed to deliver on our mission. We have a great staff, incredible programming. We're in every school and every library. We're the only people doing educational television, and we're going to continue doing it. So rough patch, but we'll get through it.
Well, good for you. And, I think to a lot of people, when they hear MPT, they think it's a public television station, which of course it is. They may not know the significance and the importance to the world of public television and the role that MPT plays in that regard. And they also probably don't know that I always thought of MPT as much as an educational institution as a television station. So talk about both those things, if you don't mind.
Sure. Like a lot of PBS stations and affiliates across the country, we spin a lot of different plates. And so education is our bread and butter. We are tied to state curriculum and standards for our educational content. Like most PBS stations, half the day we're wearing a hat serving a local community, Maryland, Maryland, Maryland. But also we like to tell national stories for the PBS network and share those stories outside of our 6-state area that we serve locally. So education is really baked into our DNA. And if you look across the dial, there aren't many people who do it. And those who do are not really operating at the gold standard level that we do. We're in every school and library, but tied to the curriculum teachers are looking at. And we provide training to those teachers and certify them. And there are 80,000 teachers in the state. It's a unique role. And we have other divisions that, for example, we own a commercial advertising agency that's really serving the state of Maryland and helping get the word out on important issues facing Marylanders and on and on. It's a great studio facility, and we're driving employment here too. We employ a lot of people and drive creative production across the state.
Stephen, talk about the size and the importance of MPT to the world of public television. And I know you have a number of national programs, so it's not just a matter of what goes on your air throughout the state of Maryland, but many of your programs run nationally and have been doing so for decades.
That's correct. A lot of people know us as the creator and broadcaster for 34 years of Wall Street Week. We have continue to produce, now in its 45th year, Motor Week, television's original automotive magazine, and more national programs like the show that we did just last week called Becoming Thurgood. This was a PBS presentation. It was an important and interesting and enlightening program about the life of Thurgood Marshall, a Marylander. And we've been getting great comments from press across the country, and PBS stations are featuring in prime time, and it's been a huge success for us. And we have upcoming programs that we're proud of, like we're tying into Maryland 250. So we just did a spot, and we have a number of programs, including a program featuring the Maryland State House. And that will be, George Washington surrendered his military command to a civilian government there. It was the capital of the United States for nearly 2 years. It's a excuse me, it's a fascinating building with a lightning rod designed by Benjamin Franklin. It's just a cool story to tell, and it's very Maryland. But then we switch hats, and for example, last weekend, we were the exclusive broadcaster for the Maryland Cycling Classic, the only Tour de France level bike race in the entire United States. We had teams flying in from all over the world. Those of you who were in Baltimore and saw the city shut down its streets for the race probably were not too happy, but the race was so exciting. First time we ever had a women's race, and then we had a men's race, and with 15 minutes of a downpour in the middle of it, made it actually dangerous and exciting all at the same time. So it was a great event to be a partner with the state and the sports commission and the sports corporation and the stadium authority. Everybody was involved in this race, and it was broadcast around the world. And MPT was on the ground, and we had helicopters flying along the race route. We had 5 motorcycles with cameras on them, with a lot of real excitement. And we have the Maryland 5-star equestrian event coming up, and on and on and on. So it's that blend of local and national that I think drives us to do our top level work.
So, yeah, I mean, it's all fascinating. And I know one of the things that MPT is very proud of is the being able to tell the history and the story of Maryland and Marylanders. Thurgood Marshall, as you mentioned, being such an example. Can you share with us anything else about
Yeah,
interesting upcoming tidbits of
I,
what you might have going on?
we are, I'm bursting at the seams to keep talking about it. So I'm glad you're asking. This year, just recently, we did our first ever IMAX picture, which is called Maryland by Air, narrated by Cal Ripken Jr. And the folks at the Maryland Science Center, IMAX, looked at it and said, we'd like to host this for 10 years. They loved it so much. And it was great to work with Cal Ripken. He's a super fan of public television, and he was a pleasure to work with. He was um, energized by the program. And so you could see that anytime, but we're also broadcasting it on MPT, and we're getting great feedback. Frankly, well, I'll say it this way. Who else would do a film like Maryland by Air except for MPT? It
Right.
just takes a unique mission for us to want to tell this history and show the beauty of our entire state.
Yeah, and so actually, I have to catch that one. So I'll.
What'd you think?
No, I
Oh,
haven't
oh,
yet caught it.
oh,
Is
okay.
what I meant to say, and so I will. I will.
Okay.
I have no doubt it's a fantastic film. The other thing that, as you mentioned, Stephen, no one else is really likely to do. Certainly not to the detail that you all do. Is cover what's going on in state government and sharing that with Marylanders. Tell us a little bit about your work, and I think you would call it an obligation to tell Marylanders about the inner workings of their legislature and state house and what have you.
We do keep that in our DNA. It's really who we are to tell those stories. And we have the longest running political news program, public affairs show in the state. It's called State Circle. It's on every Friday, but it's also available on YouTube and available on our app. And a lot of people are streaming our program. Now, 52% of our audience is now streaming MPT, which people can get on any device, including your TV. And that's been Jeff Salkin is currently the host. He's doing a fabulous job. He's got the respect of those people who are in the media, but also the respect of the legislature. They love talking with them. We have the governor on when appropriate, but we're also the kind of the C-SPAN of the state of Maryland, streaming the House and Senate hearings. So we're really involved in that. And what's interesting is the national dialogue about serving audiences. People also often say, well, why do you need public television doing public affairs, for example? because there are so many services out there. Well, each one of those services is super serving an audience that has a particular niche, that has a point of view. They're commercially driven to make money. And the sound bites you see on these cable networks and other services are 5 seconds, 7 seconds long. And they're telling that audience what they want to hear. When you come to PBS, we let the legislators talk longer. We have longer interviews, sometimes 10, 15, 20-minute interviews to get to the bottom of the story, to have a more thoughtful discourse on the issues. And we're not driven by serving any particular audience. We want to serve everybody. And so by not being commercially driven for this, we have more time and can be more thoughtful in our coverage.
I think that's an incredibly valid point, Stephen. And, without getting into the politics of today, for sure, it's many voters, as you are well aware, make their decisions based on 30-second TV commercials and 5-second bits on the local news. And so again, kudos to MPT for going deeper with that. Let me, in closing, ask you to talk about two things, both challenges and opportunities for MPT. On the challenges side, I don't want to steer you in this direction, but I'm sure I would assume you're going to talk about financial challenges, particularly today. But I think our audience would also enjoy hearing what the opportunities are and how you continue to grow and significantly impact viewers in Maryland. And I know, frankly, you go beyond Maryland and then, as we discussed, often nationally as well.
Well, just on the financial piece, this was very disruptive. Removing federal funding from the PBS system does hurt, but PBS has a full pipeline of programs, for example, with kids programming, and we plan on doing that for many years to come. It's an important time to realize, like during the hearings, for example, when they were talking, like, why do we need to spend money on kids programming on PBS? There's Disney and Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. Well, first of all, none of those are educational. And second, they're not free. And even beyond low-income families, even middle-income and higher-income families are tired of subscribing to 3, 5, 7 different streaming services. Having a free educational service is important. They also don't have commercials. So it's a safe haven for parents and kids, so they don't have to hear, oh, Mommy, I want that toy, And so this is an area that we differentiate ourselves in, and we take that very seriously. And we think we really have the highest quality of that service. So we are going to continue to invest in educational programs. Programs on the Chesapeake Bay, for example. We focus on Chesapeake Bay Week, Outdoors Maryland. We have a super popular farming show about Maryland farming, Made in Maryland about business. We're featuring businesses here in Maryland that are driving jobs and employment. All of those things are really important as we go forward. And so we will continue to be here for, like I said earlier, 50 years more and plus. Challenging landscape in terms of viewership. Our signature phrase here is to download the app, which I talked about, but also that to meet the viewers where they are. If viewers are not coming to one of our platforms, we want to publish on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. And wherever the viewers are, we're bringing that content. Because if they're not coming to us, we want to come to them. And we did that, for example, with the debates. We had the Brooks Hogan debate. We partnered with WBAL, and instead of having 50,000 or 70,000 viewers tune into that debate, we had close to 300,000, which puts it in the category of a Ravens football game early in the season. I mean, that was really terrific. So we'll continue to focus on meeting the viewers where they are.
Well, unlike the Ravens, where you and I were talking early in the season, so the Ravens right now have a 500 record, but Stephen Schupak, you and MPT have a winning record for sure.
Thank you, David. Good to see you. Thanks
Good
for
to
inviting
see.
me.
Good to see you as always, and congratulations on your new role as president and CEO of Maryland Public Television. And Maryland is very lucky as a state and as viewers in Maryland to have the crown, one of the crown jewels of the public television organization, Maryland Public Television. So Stephen Schupak, thank you again for being with us.
My pleasure.
This is David Nevins for City Biz, and thank you so much for watching as well.